Welcome to Spectral Tales, where reality meets the unknown. Tonight's story begins deep in the northern woods, where something watched and waited. The Wilson family had always dreamed of escaping city life, so they built their home in a remote forest. At first, everything was perfect, until the strange noises started. Every night, the family would hear faint footsteps around the house. At first, they thought it was just the wind or animals, but the sounds were too precise. Then, windows would be found open in the morning, even though they'd been closed the night before. It felt as if someone had been inside their home. Nicky, the youngest son, couldn't ignore it. One night, he decided to stay awake and figure out what was happening. He hid under his bed, waiting for the familiar sound. And then he heard it. Footsteps, soft and deliberate, getting closer. Nicky's heart raced as the footsteps drew nearer. He peeked from under the bed and saw nothing but darkness. The rest of the house was silent, but the sounds were unmistakable. Someone, or something, was outside. His curiosity got the best of him. He grabbed a flashlight and crept out of the room, careful not to make a sound. The house was eerily still, the only noise being the soft creaking of the wooden floors beneath his feet. Nicky slowly made his way to the front door and opened it just a crack. He stepped outside into the cold night air, shining his flashlight into the woods. The beam of light cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but trees and shadows. But then, just beyond the reach of the light, he saw movement. A figure, tall and shadowy, was standing near the edge of the woods, watching the house. It didn't move, but Nicky could feel its eyes on him. Who was this person? Before he could take another step, the figure turned and disappeared into the trees. Nicky was frozen in place, his mind racing. He quickly ran back inside, locking the door behind him, but the feeling of being watched lingered in the air. The next morning, Nicky told his parents what he had seen, but they dismissed it as his imagination. But Nicky knew what he saw, and he was more certain than ever that something was out there in the woods watching them. Days passed, and Nicky couldn't stop thinking about the strange figure he had seen in the woods. The sense of unease was growing stronger. He had to know what was behind it all, what the truth really was. On a stormy night, when rain poured heavily and thunder cracked through the sky, Nicky couldn't sleep. The storm seemed to add to the tension in the air. He felt that this was the right moment to find answers. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was hidden in the woods, something that needed to be uncovered. He quietly grabbed a flashlight and slipped out of the house, determined to find out what was truly going on. He thought if he ventured deep enough into the forest, he might finally find the source of the strange occurrences around the house. As Nicky walked through the rain-soaked woods, the storm made the path even harder to follow. But he pressed on, driven by the need to find the truth. He wasn't sure what he was looking for. Maybe evidence of someone living in the woods, or a clue to explain the strange sights and sounds that had been troubling him. But deep down, he felt that something was there, something he couldn't ignore. Then, as he ventured further into the woods, he saw it. A small, old shack hidden in the trees. It looked abandoned, as though no one had stepped foot in it for years. Nicky approached cautiously, his curiosity growing with every step. He opened the door, which creaked as it revealed the dark, dusty interior. Inside, everything seemed still and untouched, but there was an unsettling feeling in the air. He spotted an old journal lying on the ground, partially hidden under some debris. Nicky picked it up, brushing the dust off the cover. He opened it, his heart racing as he read the faded handwriting inside. They have been watching for years. Beware the silence. It will consume you. A cold chill ran down his spine. As he read those words, he suddenly heard a sound behind him. He turned quickly, but there was nothing there. The air felt heavy, thick with something he couldn't quite explain. He felt like he wasn't alone. Nicky quickly left the shack, his mind racing with the chilling realization that the woods held secrets far darker than he had ever imagined. He hurried back to the house, eager to tell someone, but as he walked through the front door, he froze. The house was silent. Too silent. He called out, but there was no answer. He searched every room, but there was no sign of his family. The house was empty. No one was there. It was as if they had vanished without a trace. No one saw him again after that night. The only clue left behind was the journal, the pages of which continued to whisper warnings that no one dared to listen to. The house was abandoned, and rumors spread that it was cursed just like the woods. The forest remained a place of mystery, holding its secrets tightly. Secrets that no one would ever uncover. And as for Nicky, his disappearance was just one more unsolved mystery, adding to the long list of things that should never have been touched. If you enjoyed tonight's story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more terrifying tales. And if you dare, share your thoughts or theories in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, some stories are better left untold.